Basically, I'm about to become more powerful than you've ever imagined. Hello and welcome back to Allie Bakes, where today we are making what is, in my humble opinion, the best dessert to ever dessert. Like, you could bake something, like cook something, put it in the oven, whatever you do, it's never going to be as good as ice cream. For Christmas, my husband got me an ice cream maker so I can finally make my own ice cream. This particular ice cream maker has a compressor. I believe this recipe still works if you don't have an ice cream maker with a compressor. You just have to put it in the freezer for it to solidify. Yeah. Today I decided to make coffee ice cream. Yesterday we did a test batch with some strawberry and it turned out, mwah. What can I say? I'm a genius. But today we're gonna do coffee, which is probably my favorite flavor. Now, the most important thing when you're making coffee flavored ice cream is to get a really good quality coffee bean. You don't wanna cheap out and get whatever's on sale at Walmart. You wanna go to your local roaster, get something that's been made to have a really unique flavor, something that'll distinguish your ice cream from everyone else. So don't skimp on this, okay?
As usual, ingredients will be listed in the description box below. You'll be pleased to hear that this particular coffee ice cream only takes 6 ingredients, so it makes your life super easy.
So I'm not an ice cream expert, but I'm pretty certain that if your ice cream has eggs in it, it's technically a custard. So I guess today we're making coffee custard. Anyway, we're gonna start with some whole milk. We have half a cup of heavy cream, 3/4 of a cup of sugar, and then you're gonna take your cup and a half of whole coffee beans and throw them in there because we're gonna steep it to infuse the milk with our coffee flavor. And then we go to the stove.
Getting the milk up to the right temperature only took me about 10 minutes. Now, this video is not sponsored, but it could be. Winter, what's good? Yes, I'm using a Winter brand ice cream machine. It seems to be pretty user-friendly and easy to clean.
So you don't want this to boil. Mine kind of boiled, but that's okay. You just want it to get nice and warm and steamy because we're trying to infuse the milk with the beans. And then once it is steamy, we're actually gonna let this steep for about an hour until it gets to room temperature. So I will see you in 1 hour. Okay, so it's been about an hour and our mixture is about room temperature and it smells awesome. So now we have to split our eggs into whites and to yolks because we're gonna use the yolks and not the whites. And I don't know how to do much, but I do know how to do this. Oh, well, I just said I know how to do this. I swear I know how to do this. Get back here.
This recipe calls for 5 egg yolks, and for the love of all things that are good, please save your egg whites.
And we will save the whites for the omelet I'm gonna eat tomorrow. I don't know. I'm gonna whisk these up. Okay, the recipe says that we need to put a cup of heavy cream in a bowl over ice. And it's a little embarrassing. I don't have an ice maker or ice trays, which I didn't even realize until now. But I do have ice packs. So I put my bowl over a bowl full of ice packs and that's just gonna have to do. Okay, we have to reheat our mixture until it's steamy. So we'll do that right now. This channel should really just be called Allie Tries to Bake without the proper equipment because eventually I'm gonna have to strain my coffee beans into my nightmare chilled bowl through a strainer, but I don't have a strainer, I have this. So we're gonna see what happens, I guess. So the heavy cream is gonna go in our cold bowl situation.
And here's something that's rarely ever caught on tape, but happens every time I make anything, is me meticulously looking over the recipe to make sure I don't absolutely goof all over myself. This time it only took about 5 minutes to get this up to temp.
You know, I was thinking about like why I like ice cream so much. And I honestly think it's because I was conditioned that way. It was like, oh, like Allie was in a play, let's go get ice cream after. Like Allie got a participation ribbon in her swim meet, like let's go get ice cream after. In college it was like, Allie got dumped, we gotta go get her some Sonic to make her feel better. It's just part of who I am. No. So now that this is nice and steamy again, we have to temper our eggs before we make like our custard by slowly pouring our beans in. Why is this lumpy? Oh, that looks like straight cat vomit. Well, that doesn't look great. This back in with the yolks. And then we bring it back to the stove. And then we heat it until it thickens. Oh, I want you to come over here and look at something real quick. So it needs to be thick enough to coat the back of a spoon, which it does. But if you notice, there is some gabagool on the spoon. Unclear what it is. I am hesitant to think it's eggs because it was there before we added the eggs. Nevertheless, I'm gonna strain this over a strainer and some cheesecloth in an effort to remove the particulate from the ice cream. And we're gonna strain this into our cold cream. Lord help me. Come on.
Now this is where things started to get a little bit questionable, because I was trying to get all of the juice out of the bean milk goop without getting any of the texture.
I think I put too much cheesecloth, but I gotta get that gunk out of there. Yuck.
And I feel like everyone has those moments when they're baking, when it goes from, oh, fun, aesthetic activity to just, F it, I gotta get in there with my hands and get this sorted out. And this was one of those moments where I was no longer concerned about looking like I know what I was doing.
This cloth was probably wishful thinking.
Well, you know where they go on
What do you mean?
the back of this.
Oh, God. My God. Don't put the camera in there. They don't need to see that.
Now, in my defense, what was coming out of the strainer made this start to look like an ice cream base, so I wasn't doing everything wrong. But what was in the strainer, different story entirely.
Bro. Oh, bro. Oh, it's like a dirty diaper. Don't show him that. I don't even think my dishwasher could handle that. That needs to be exercised by a priest. Jesus Christ. I've got 1/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla. Now we're gonna take this and put it in the winter machine. So let's go over there. It's got this nice little removable doodah bowl. And let's pour this over the sink, shall we? And pour your base into the bowl. in the machine. Okay, great. This has a nice lid that goes on like that. Our ice cream, 60 minutes. We're gonna check it at like 30 because you want this to turn into soft serve, and then you put it in your receptacle, and then you put it in the freezer. So we'll be back to check it in a little bit. But we've got it set to ice cream setting, 60 minutes. And here we go. Okay, so my ice cream machine has stopped turning, which indicates to me that it's too thick to continue. So I need to empty it into the tub and then put it in the freezer. Ah! Okay, so let's check her out. Yeah! So I got these handy little reusable quarts to empty our ice cream into, and I think I'm gonna taste test this when it's soft serve because it looks like kind of good.
Now again, not sponsored, but I could be. Winter, what's good? But whatever was coming out of this machine looked delicious. It was super light and fluffy and aromatic and just the perfect soft serve consistency. At this point, I was fairly certain I was in the clear, but there's only one way to know for sure. And that was to taste test this delicious soft serve looking masterpiece.
It definitely looks like ice cream. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I crushed it, but I crushed it. I'm so happy, it's so good. Wow, what a rush of euphoria. It really had me going there for a minute. It is so creamy and so coffee-y. Oh damn, I could eat this whole thing, and I probably will.
After chilling in the freezer for about 2 hours, I was able to scoop it into delightful little ice cream balls, which maintained their creamy texture. This recipe is a big win. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
You can bake whatever you want. You can set it on fire, you can flambe it, you can stick it up your butt. I don't know. The best dessert, in my opinion, is